Hello, this is Ivana.
This is Yao.
And you're listening to the podcast Life in Black and White.
And all the shades in between.
We share all things life, relationships, marriage, parenting, race, and much more. If you enjoy listening to us, then please follow or subscribe to this podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook under Life in Black and White. Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Life in Black and White. I'm trying to sound joyful and positive, although it's very hard at 8 p.m. when you have 3 children, especially. But Yao gives me the energy.
I'm just getting ready for apparently I've got to make some kind of, make you all laugh
Small
or
talk,
something.
yeah.
Small talk, okay.
Just say a joke or something.
Yeah, there's no pressure or anything, but tell me a joke.
No, you, Yao.
No, exactly, I know.
Yeah,
me.
okay. Sorry.
See, this is the banter that we have all the time and things. So this gets the energy rising. Everybody's in a great mood, in a great place, and we just go with it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
You just have to make the life joyful.
Absolutely. And I'm in a joyful place, and I know that our audience will be in a joyful place once we get to hear the guest and the amazing story.
Yes. Oh, wow, that was good.
Thanks.
You're getting better.
I appreciate that.
So, my friend, today we have Melissa Lewis here, who owns a property investment company. Sorry, it's just always like English is obviously not my first language, so sometimes I have to memorize things to say them right. And we are very excited to have her on. First of all, I have to say that. So thank you so much, Melissa, for being here. Because what you do is amazing, and we always say amazing. We need to find a new word, no? But it is amazing, and we are very, very interested in hearing more. And hopefully, we can, get some advice, directly or indirectly. So no pressure.
No pressure, but tell us your
everything.
Whole story.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh,
over to you, Melissa.
Oh, thank you so much, both of you. Thank you so much for having me on. You are lovely to speak to, by the way. Just watching you two interact and listening to it, and listening to you as well. Happy to be here.
Can you make sure you leave a review afterwards?
Yeah. Send me the link.
I was like, yeah. Okay.
No, definitely, of course.
Joking. Go on, please.
Yeah. I mean, who knew? Who knew that I would be here kind of all these years later just talking about the journey that I've took and the steps that I've taken. I guess I originally was in HR. I thought HR would be my life. So in my early 20s, I'd set myself a goal and I said, right, by the time I'm 30, I want to be a senior HR officer or a HR manager. And I had done that when I was 26. So I was 26, I was a senior HR officer. And it was that year that I bought my property in Essex. Now I'd started saving. Now this is the thing about life, what you kind of learn as you go, but things happen and you don't know why. So I'd started saving when I was 16. I had no idea what I was even saving for. I bought my first car when I was 17, bought my second car. And then I was thinking, right, it was Christmas, so I was 25 at the time, and it's Christmas time. I'm really reflective. I don't know. Are you reflective at Christmas time? The end of the year, assessing, what you've done and where you're going to. So it was that kind of Christmas period that I was thinking, I'm a senior HR officer. Tick. Okay. Checked my savings and I saw that I had enough, not for London. So I grew up in London, East London, but I had enough for somewhere in Essex. So I bought my property, and it was through the buying process that for some reason it's like I felt like an adult all of a sudden. So me at 26, up until I bought my property, it's like I'd been winging it, pretending to be an adult but not really feeling like an adult. But that process kind of led me to deciding to go into property. So
sorry, I just want to say that what really got my attention is how you thought, the way you were thinking at such young age, because many people don't really care, savings, what,
I was thinking exactly the same. It's amazing.
How did you, first question, how did you do it? That you were like, was it the way you were brought up or?
That's a really good question, actually. So My parents did. They gave me the idea of saving, but what I guess I always wanted to drive. And my cousins, I've got a lot of cousins from a big family, and all my cousins who were around the same age, we would encourage each other, like, oh, we're gonna be driving.
Yeah.
So I guess as a child, I think as an early teen, my mum and dad handed me like a savings book. And they said, oh, Melissa, this is for you to put your birthday money in. But for any child or, teen knows that when you get birthday money that you put into the booklet, your parents still take the booklet to go and use your birthday money to get your uniform and your trainers and your PE kit and stuff like that. So it's like from my parents, I'd been given the idea of saving, but of course you're given this book. It's not like I was given the book and there was a couple £100 on there. You get the book and, over Christmas and stuff, you get 10 or 20. Yeah. And then I think by the time I was 16 and going to my first job, I was thinking, oh, I want to, hearing my cousins, my male cousins who were 17 and getting their cars, and I'm 16 at this point. I just thought, oh gosh, I got to fill up my savings book to buy a car.
So also who is surrounded by, it can be because your friends have stuff, then you naturally think, oh, this is where I'm heading as well.
Friends and family, obviously.
Friends and family, yeah. I mean, okay, cool. Sorry. So what happened after?
And actually, sorry, just another thing on that. I hadn't realised that at the time. So for Melissa, who was 17, my cousins who were all, between 16 and 18, we were all thinking about driving. And actually, it was speaking to friends and people in my wider circle that they didn't automatically have this sudden, for some reason, everyone really wanted to drive, but driving in London is a pain. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in East London as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's not my story.
No.
Let's connection.
Whereabouts? Just out of interest, just where?
Yeah.
I moved around a little bit, but what she's referring to is I lived in Leighton at one point.
Yeah. Grew up in Wanstead.
Where are you?
Wanstead. Yeah.
Wanstead. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, Wanstead's just literally just up the way.
First 2 years of my life in Newbury Park, and then Wanstead up until I moved to Essex, sort of 7 years ago.
Wow.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's funny because there's a lot of people that I've worked with who are a couple are actually from Wanstead, some from Gants Hill, a few obviously like Chadwell Heath and bits and bobs and things. And I lived Chapel Heath and stuff for a little bit, and Marksgate, everywhere. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, there's probably some crossover because I had family in Wanstead and of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yes.
Back to you. Sorry.
Yes. Property. Yeah. So I bought my property, and I felt like, okay, I'm an adult now. I want to go into property. Now, up until that point, I had always worked full time, but I felt like I disliked it more than the average person. So for me, I would feel the pain of it being a Monday and the excitement of it being a Friday, but I could cry. That Monday feeling for me, I could sit at my desk and be like, gosh, I'm back here again. It was such a
but how sad that so many people live like this.
Yeah. But the thing is, everyone, what would stun me, and I was in my early 20s, but I would be stunned that we would all be talking about how horrible it is that it's Monday. And then I would look around and everyone just started working.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that's sitting there like really, really ready to break down and burst into tears. Like, I can't believe it's Monday and I'm here. But having said that, now that I'm self-employed, I sometimes miss it.
Oh.
Yeah. I sometimes, when my sister calls me and she's on her lunch break and she's telling me about people at work, and I hear her going back into the office and there's camaraderie and
Yeah.
I start cracking. I sometimes miss that.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you don't miss the stress. Always remember that.
There's pros and there's no greener side in anything. There's green in every side and there's not green in every side. So it's your difficulty. yeah, I didn't actually know what I was going to do or how I was going to start. And people were recommending that I get a job at an estate agency. But that to me felt like I would just have another Monday issue.
Yeah.
But the only thing with estate agents, I noticed that they work Saturdays. And I said to myself, I don't want to go from working 5 days to now 6 days. So I'm going to set up a franchise. Now, listen for the logic. I'm going to set up a franchise so I can work 24/7 and be constantly stressed about every single penny instead of just getting the 6 days a week job. Which, So I bought into an online franchise, dealing with sales and lettings. And that's where I really learnt my property knowledge.
Wow.
And I remember I was meeting investors and they were saying, oh, Melissa, these are the types of properties we want. Just bring us these types of properties. And this is how you work out market value. This is how we do our refurb costs. This is how we work out our return on investment. So I remember thinking like, oh, I found a gap in the market. I found a niche. Like, these investors are coming to me. So I just need to find investors just find properties for investors. So I remember leaving the franchise thinking, yes, I'm going to set up alone and I'm going to this is my niche. And then I started to do more networking and found that everybody finds properties for investors, and it's actually called deal sourcing or deal packaging, and people pay thousands of pounds to go on a course to learn all of these things. And actually, I haven't found a gap in the market. I'm now one of millions of people who have paid for a course. So I was at some advantage as I started off with clients, and I kind of carried on with property management. And through then, so property management became property services. So we would do viewings, inventories, inspections. And then I guess we pivoted away from that. So at that point, I hired staff. So throughout the journey, I've outsourced. I've tried so many different things. I think it's the journey of being an entrepreneur, really, isn't it? So I'd outsourced some of the property management and property services. Then we stopped doing property services, and now got there in the end. Now we predominantly. So what was happening is people would buy properties with me, and I was finding women especially. I would be spending hours on the phone explaining to them things that I think everybody knows, but not everybody knows. So women would approach me and they would say, oh, Melissa, I want, I've got some money. I want to get an investment property, something I can hand to my children. And I would bring them the property. So the services that I was providing, so deal sourcing, property sourcing is you find someone what they're looking for and you hand it to them and off they go. And what I was finding is, I'd bring, so this one particular lady, I bought her a property and she was like, yeah, and it was good. It was tenanted, but she knew nothing about property. She knew nothing about, she thought, you buy a property and that's it. She had no idea about any of the compliance or trying to, even down to insurances and stuff like that. I guess in that time I couldn't do property services, and I had to kind of streamline. Now we predominantly help women get started in property investment, and we still have our own kind of portfolio. So along the way, we have built a portfolio of rent to HMOs and development sites as well. We've got a few development sites that we're working on. But this is the thing with property and the thing with business is it's all relationship building.
Yeah.
It's all down to, so everything that I'm doing at the moment is down to the relationships that I've built, I suppose.
Wow. Yeah. Of course.
It's that initial when you started, was there a lot of butterflies and things kind of going on and stuff with you? I think with a lot of people that we've kind of interviewed, especially when they've just kind of, there's that thing of like imposter syndrome. How have I kind of got here? Should I be here and things? Is that something that you've had to kind of work with, build up your confidence and stuff as you go along?
Absolutely. It's something that even creeps up now because I've had media opportunities and people contact me because they want to, hear my story, or they want my comment on an article. And I just think, wow, little old me, you want my comment? So it's certainly something that I've felt throughout my journey, but it's all part of the mindset work that we, I guess, have to do or have to kind of go through in business, I find. So certainly in the early days, I struggled a lot more.
Yeah.
Until I realized that it's not something that you overcome. It's something you kind of just work with it, you work through it, and you just be grateful for everything, every opportunity.
Yeah. If you should tell like why people should invest in properties, what is the number one reason?
So yeah, I think property investment is good for people who want to have long-term, that want to do something with their money long-term. I hesitated a little bit at the beginning because it's touted as, this kind of, you're going to be financially free and you just go over here and suddenly you could get 1,000 properties and be making 10 million a month and it's all passive and hands off. And it's not like that at all. And actually, anyone who deals with property and deals with tenants, even for a short period of time, wants to kind of run for the hills screaming if you have difficult tenants, if you deal with HMOs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I talked to you earlier. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I've managed different properties, so different types of properties in different parts of the UK. So I think I've seen the full scale of tenants from people who are absolutely lovely, and I'd offer them a seat at my dining table if I could, to the absolute worst nightmare that just the worst. So it's kind of seeing that there's more to it. It is a lot, but it's rewarding, and this is why I love it, and this is why what feels good for me is when, so for example, a lady I went to university with, she had said that she wanted to get into property literally because she wanted to have something to hand to her children. That's literally that was her sole goal. But she was looking at properties online and she had no idea what she was even looking for. And she was saying that it was in speaking to me that she realised, like, okay, so we spoke about what she was looking for and went through it and we worked through the numbers, but it was taking that step that made the difference.
Yeah.
And she was saying that, it's something that is, you think property investment, you think, oh, wow, like what is this thing that these people can do? But really and truly, when you kind of know the steps and you know how to do your due diligence, how to do the numbers, it's very easy, but it's attainable and straightforward. It's following steps.
And you do that for people, and you help them understand the process, because if someone like me, I would have no idea what to do there. So it's amazing that you have someone there to help you along the way.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't have to. I'm not even saying everyone has to use me from now on if you want to buy a property. But what I do find with clients that I do speak to is when people do have money and they think, yeah, I'm going to get an investment property, I'm going to get a tenant, and not think about it for a couple of years until I hand it to my kids or until I sell it, etc. What people think is that if I just get a cheap property, it's going to be fine. They don't think about the additional costs. Ground rent, service charge. They don't think about the tenant type. So sometimes people think, oh, it's near a university, I'm going to get university tenants, but actually there's void periods of university tenants because they're out, when summer's over, your property is empty for a period of months. So there's kind of steps to make sure that it's profitable. There's things to consider, I suppose. It's more than just, I've got 20k, that's 25% of the deposit, I'm going to go and get a cheap property. And actually, it's also comparing roads. So there's county, I'm thinking of County Durham and Newton Aycliffe, just because I've recently just sold a few properties, like we've gone through a few buy-to-lets with a few of the women I'm working with. So there's a difference. So there'll be one road that's $550 a month rental income and one road that's $750 per month rental income. Now, these roads are they're like 2 roads away. You wouldn't know unless you've been doing your due diligence, looking at the area, looking at comparables and stuff like that. So yeah, there's kind of the benefits of working with someone who wants to, who knows these things really.
Yeah, of course. And would you say people need lots of money to invest? I think this is the most common concern of people. Like, oh, I need so much money to invest, but I don't think this is necessarily the case.
I wouldn't say you need a lot of money, but it depends. It's literally case by case basis. So I would say 20,000 is the minimum I would say you would need. But it's bearing in mind, from my perspective, property investment is somewhere to park the money, like it's somewhere to park your savings. So no, you don't need 100,000 or a couple 100,000 sitting in an account, but 20 to 30,000 is going to get you started more, like better than, you know, if it was to just be sitting in an account or
of course. I think the biggest concern, and that's my opinion only, is the risk that's involved. Is that right? Or
yeah, that is a fair concern, and everything is risky. Everything is a risk, and there's things that you can do to mitigate it, and I guess that's it's following the steps, but also knowing your why. For example, if you was to buy a property and you're thinking, oh, you know, I just want to make an extra £500 a month, so I'm just going to throw this 20,000 away to make 500 for the next couple of years, then it's not really going to be inspiring. It's not even going to look like much at the end of each month, and you're going to think, I went through all of that headache, what for? But if you're thinking to yourself, actually, you know, my family
or something,
in Grays, and the houses are really affordable in Grays, and actually if over the next 10 to 20 years I could afford to get 3 properties, finance creatively, you know, using like mortgages and stuff like that, to get 3, for example, you know, then that is what I would.
So it's more of a long-term kind of, if you're really looking for an investment long-term, it's definitely something that you can look into, because it appreciates as well as what you can kind of obviously get as an income if you're doing buy-to-let time.
I like that thinking, like long-term thinking, because lots of people, we talked about this just recently, you know, Yao. There are lots of people that this is what we see, what we're being modeled from the society or our parents or family, that you get a job, you put a deposit down, you buy a house, and you live there forever, and we had that conversation that this doesn't have to be the case, because you can say rent for forever and move maybe countries, have the freedom. You can invest in different properties maybe around the world if that's, you know, what you want or can afford. And I'll actually like that, because I think that's big thinking.
Yeah, that's a really, really good perspective, and that's exactly it. It's big thinking, and it's long-term thinking. And this is what kind of upsets me when I see, you know, property touted as, you know, you're all going to be financially free and it's all very quick, and, you know, it doesn't, for it to be sustainable growth. It's not going to happen overnight. Of course. But that's the kind of beauty of it. And this is why I guess there's so many strategies, because what usually happens is you get one property. So, oh my goodness, don't know if she'll mind me saying her name, but Patricia, she's bought a few properties with me. She started off wanting buy-to-let, so she's got some buy-to-lets, and she's now looking at flips. Right. Because a flip, so just to kind of explain a flip is where you buy a property below market value and you add value to it. So you do it up, you do the kitchen, the bathroom, you extend it, and then with the goal of it being the refurb being kind of within the margin that, you know, the resale value, there's a profit in the resale value. So what happens is when you kind of start in property, you speak to other people, and then you hear of other opportunities, or you're thinking, okay, right, you know, I've got 2 buy-to-lets, and long term, this is what, you know, there's a goal, there's a financial goal, you know, in 10 years time. It fits a wider long-term plan, basically.
Your thinking must be so interesting, you know, the way you think. But it must manifest in the daily life as well. No, you must think different to other people. You must do, no, because you see few steps ahead. No,
I do.
As well.
It's interesting you say that, because I'm always thinking a few steps ahead, and I have to, even for clients, because as much as someone might want a buy-to-let, I'm thinking, is that going to work for you? Is that profitable? Like I don't just want to. I think I like where I've learned and grown over the years is I want to learn and grow with people as well. I feel like I've been through it to be able to help people, as opposed to me, just trying to lie and say to everyone, yeah, come on everyone, I bring out my whistle, follow me everyone, we're all going to be millionaires tomorrow. It's actually, I'm looking at your trajectory, and I'm constantly thinking and assessing, and in business you've always got to be on this step and a few steps ahead and over there and around the corner, and
absolutely,
of course.
There's a lot to be had with your story and things, and the fact that you've mentioned again about the developing, how you've developed along the way and things, and who you are now. It is inspiring. It really is.
Yes,
it really is, because
and we are very interested in this subject now. So we feel like we started to be interested quite late in life.
It's fine. Yeah,
exactly. I don't think there is a time.
Yeah, but we didn't have that upbringing or that mindset, and we're teaching it to our kids. We teach that entrepreneurial, and to be conscious with their money, because the way I was brought up was more like save for rainy days. Never spend too much, but saving or being clever about it.
Can we actually just go into that quickly? Because that's something that scarcity mindset it took me a long time to learn that I had a scarcity mindset, because it's getting the balance between saving and being careful with your money and still enjoying the process, still fulfilling your necessities and stuff like that. So I had got to a point where, I guess, when you're saving and you become so familiar with saving that all of a sudden you start to feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to hold on to everything, and everything's in scarcity. And it's thanks to the things that I've read and conversations that I've had that I had to learn myself. Like, it's a thing.
Sorry.
No, it's funny because you saying that. There was, I can't remember his surname. There's an American-based guy, and he talks about finance and stuff quite a bit. And one of the things that he kind of mentions is, if your thing is about, say, handbags, have the allocation and stuff in your budget for handbags. If that's what gives you the biggest joy and stuff in your life. Okay, you still kind of allocate your 50% here, 20% savings or whatever and things, but be happy to have the 20-30% and stuff. And if that's what you want to use for your amazing handbag or shoes or clothes or cars, or be okay with it, because it's still a part of, you don't want to just have, not have. If you build too much, you don't get to live life in the present and stuff at any point. You just kind of get to a point where you've got money, and there's so many kind of millionaires who absolutely scared of, like you saying, of spending anything because they're worried that they're going to lose.
Mindset is everything now. Has, like you said, you had this scarcity mindset. Have you noticed things on the outside started to change once you changed the mindset?
100%.
Wow.
Because I thought that I could. So I guess it's in the process of building a business and taking on staff. You in the early stages, you're on a shoestring or bootstrapping or whatever they call it. So you become used to bootstrapping, and then as small wins would happen, small business wins, the first sale, the second, the this, the that, I would not want to celebrate, because I would feel that's not really big enough to celebrate. Let's come on, Melissa, let's just keep going. And come on, Melissa, you're doing well, but just keep going. And no, Melissa, no, she needed a break. She needs to actually enjoy the process and enjoy the wins. So
How did you learn that? What happened that you changed the mindset?
So I went through burnout in my early days, but I still hadn't learned it until maybe still learning it now.
Yeah, it's always a journey. It's always a journey.
Yeah, I'm better now in that if something good happens, I'm like, right, celebrate. But it's still a conversation with myself as to what does this celebration look like? And
always say mindset is everything.
Do you mind? I
Yes.
don't want to delve too deeply, but
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you know, when you're referring to that Monday feeling, and there's a lot of people who go through that Monday feeling, and they're like, "Oh my God!" I don't know whether any of my lot kind of listen to me. I actually love the people that I work with, and I'm kind of blessed on that front. Monday morning is still Monday morning, right?
Yeah.
Let's
But not because of people.
Yeah, let's not be twisted. You mentioned there about burnout. Is there anything that you would like to give some kind of level of advice and stuff on
how to?
If something similar happened, would there be certain triggers and stuff that you feel people should kind of look out for and think maybe you need to kind of step back or whichever?
Yes.
Let you talk. Sorry.
Yes. No. It's fine. So I've learned that there's not an end. So I used to think to myself, if I just do, so I have a diary, write every day what needs to be done, to-do list type of thing. And I used to think that I just needed to keep pushing just so I could get to the end. And at the end of the day, I'd be telling myself that, and then the weekend would come and I would say to myself, come on, Melissa, you need to push just a little more, because just over the other side of that pushing is like, it's all going to feel really easy and really nice and really beautiful, and the money's going to be flowing and you're going to be skipping through meadows. So what I learned is that doesn't happen. You make peace with exactly where you are, regardless of where you are. Once you're in peace, then things start to happen. It's a constant journey, because I'm naturally, over the years, I've become like, I'm very determined, I'm very ambitious, I'm very go-getting. I think that's because that's where all my energy is. I don't have a family, I don't have kids, don't have a partner. So where naturally people's energy kind of starts to disperse, mine's solely focused on what I need to do for the next step and the next level. And it's understanding that that's me and I'm setting that. So I don't need to keep pushing. If I don't push, I'm still going to be here, because the work that I'm doing, it's midnight and I'm really trying to get this done, because if I just finish this thing, it doesn't make a difference. So I've given you like a 1 hour explanation, it feels like. No.
Makes perfect sense.
And it's
it's a long way of saying that it's down to us. So the moment that I decide to set my routine, the moment that I decide I'm going to wake up and do a morning routine, or I'm going to see that my phone is ringing and I'm not going to dive for it, because I can call them back. Because again, what I used to do, you don't want to miss out on opportunities, and it doesn't take long for me to get overwhelmed. I speak to lots of different audiences. And I speak to lots of different types of clients, and my energy can drain very quickly. And now I just, if I don't want to talk, if my phone has to be on Do Not Disturb from 7 p.m, then that's what it is. Whereas before, I would be pushing myself, and, family or friends are calling me in the evening to, talk about their day. And I'm at the end, I've had to evict a tenant. I've been shouted at because someone's fridge is broken, and for some reason it's my fault. And I just understand that this is life, it's a journey, and we can only do what we can do with the time we're given.
It's like when you look at the trees, the trees that they don't push, I need to grow faster, or that tree grows faster than me. They just are, and they just grow. I just had to share that wisdom. Now share what you wanted.
Please make sure that's a thumbnail or a caption that needs to go at the front, because that is the quote of the year. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I can be smart sometimes when I want.
All the time.
Thank you. Sorry, Angel.
See, and that was
now you forgot what you wanted to say.
Absolutely, I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You know what? For that, I think it was worth it. It was worth it. No.
Good. So, Melissa, tell us about your plans, maybe.
Yes.
For the near future. Your business,
Yes. So, future, we're pushing on with mentoring. So, a few of the ladies have suggested I start doing group sessions instead of one-on-one. So we're going to be doing group sessions, just kind of putting that together. So that we've got some more webinars coming up, so getting those booked in, and just continuing on.
Yeah.
And 2025, it's going to be the first year that we do our first. We work on our first development. So that's in the pipeline. So our own development, mentoring.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Busy times.
Yes.
For us, the only plans we have is to survive every day.
Yes, I'm doing that too.
So if we survive, all good. Or our kids survive, we're good.
Yeah.
How sad our lives are.
It's not sad. It's just
everyone's living the same. We're all living the same life. It just looks more glamorous from different angles.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We're just trying to survive, really.
And nothing is glamorous at the end of the day, no?
I nearly came back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel guilty.
No. It's fine. It's all good. If anybody wanted to reach out to you, to contact you, how would they get in touch?
Yes. The easiest way is to email me, info@mlpropertyventure.co.uk.
Cool.
Or the social channels, it's all at ML Property Venture.
Okay, we'll share that in the description as well, of course. Is there anything you would like to add that we haven't asked?
No, I've really enjoyed this chat.
Like we could speak for ages. Actually. Part 2 then coming soon.
Yes.
Anything you wanted to ask?
No, we should do.
Yeah. Lots of podcasts do that they get the same guests like after a year or something. So it's this was really good and so insightful. Actually, I saw your newsletter. I'm signing up.
Bless! Oh, thank you.
100%. Yeah, I'm really interested. In this subject. Maybe we can ask when Henry. One more question.
I love this.
The focus.
Oh, if only we could have 2 more.
No, that's a joke.
No, we're good. 3 is more than enough.
We are 3. At least one is sleeping.
Yeah.
The
youngest one's the only one that's sleeping. I like that.
Setting the example.
Exactly.
So I would like to ask one more question, actually. If you could share your advice, maybe, for people who consider investing.
Yes.
And they feel like maybe they're too old or they don't know what to do. They don't have enough money and they get stuck in their heads.
Yeah.
What would you advise them? I
would tell them, talk to me. I'm here to just make things easier, just to explain it. I'm happy to have conversations with people. I'm happy to demystify it and make it less big and scary. So you're never too old for these things. Well,
what is just out of curiosity? What was your oldest or is your oldest client you ever worked with?
Well, I was just about to. He's 86.
Oh wow!
But no, he owns the site and he's got some unregistered land next to it, and it's quite a big site actually. But he is.
Watch this space.
Oh wow!
Sorry? Watch this space then, right?
Well, But this is the thing. He's 86, so it's a conversation as to whether he wants to go through planning or not and stuff like that. So So
that's
86.
Inspirational. I love this because sometimes we feel we're old, but we're not.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with being old?
When you get that, just do it. Just take that.
It's how we were programmed. You have to have a property by the age of 30, and then you have to blah blah blah, and then you're done. But you can change it. You can change it
literally at any point.
Exactly. Thank you, Melissa. This was amazing.
Thank you.
Don't want to say amazing again. We need to really come up with a new word, Daddy. Which one should it be?
We'll come up. This
was awesome.
Awesome, magnificent,
or
brilliant, fabulous.
Awesome. Yeah, fabulous.
Fabulous. Fab.
This was
fab.
It was. Thank you so much for being here with us. We shared everything in the description, and I hope our friend that you enjoyed this just as much as we did. And as ever, if you enjoyed this episode, Yeah, I'll finish the sentence, please.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but I think she's
Say from the heart. From the heart.
Please leave a review and
That's so from the heart.
Good. That's as much from the heart as
you're like Chandler and Monica when she made him to say
I'm a robot.
But she made him to say that she's fun to be with, remember?
Oh yeah.
And he was just repeating what she said. Anyway, we love friends.
My wife is fun to be with. No, that's not what you want, right? Okay. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much for listening and see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Take care. Bye.